Hey peeps, it's your girl Daxani and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I kind of want to express my thoughts, my feelings about this whole I don't dream of labor, I don't have a dream job trend that's going around on YouTube and TikTok or wherever else, because ever since I've been kind of stressed and overwhelmed at my recent job, these videos really did speak to me. However, I also disagree with them. First and foremost, this video is going to consist of a time-lapse drawing that I did based on how I'm feeling, and it's reflecting of what I'm going to be talking about today. It's a self-portrait of me kind of just been feeling sad and like I'm losing myself, my creative self as far as like art goes. So yeah, enjoy the artwork and let's get into it. So with this whole trend of I don't dream of labor or I don't have a dream job, I mean, that really speaks to me now, being the second job that I have, or like I have one job, but I just recently put in my 2 weeks because I was really too stressed and just super overwhelmed. It was kind of causing a lot of emotional and physical stress on me, so I was like, it's time to go, and it took me a while to come to that conclusion. I kind of just want to talk about my own experience and my thoughts. Basically, I'm going to kind of start off in a timeline. So basically starting off with job number 1, right, that I had before Panorama, right? And job number 1, it was working at a company that I really loved. And not only that, I actually enjoyed the work that I did. And which was a major plus was the people were amazing. They were super friendly. They will always be in my heart, and I'm so lucky to have people in a work environment where I can say like I love all of them. Job number 1, there was a balance of work and a balance of my personal life, which in this case, which is creating art. So for me, I felt like I had the best of both worlds, and I think that's like with this whole trend, I think that's where I disagree with the whole like, you know, 9 to 5 is bad and forget the 9 to 5 job, quit your 9 to 5 jobs. But with job number 1, I had that balance of having a steady workflow, steady income coming in while being able to pursue my art, which in this case, the whole dream job thing, art is my dream job. And at first, you know, I wanted to be a character designer for an animated film or something, but I think I love creating art for myself. So like in this case, my dream job would be starting my own art business, opening my own Etsy shop, and having my own Patreon. Like I will eventually have those things. I will get there, but of course for like the main necessities, bills, car note, all that stuff, right? I rely on that steady job to pay for that. So then when the Panorama hit, right, we were all working from home, everything was good still, but I started having this feeling, especially when people were losing their jobs. It was like more people were losing their jobs and just coming in, the numbers were going up, and I was really having doubts. I was like, oh shoot, like I don't know, I have a really bad feeling that I'm not gonna stay. And I was trying to be optimistic, but I knew it was coming, and sure enough it did. There were layoffs, unfortunately, and I was devastated. I was so upset because I felt like this job number 1, and I say job number 1 because this was like my official full-time corporate 9 to 5 office job with the benefits, with the 401k, you know, that made me feel like I was doing something right when it came to being an adult, and you know, let alone being someone who is a millennial. And I see a lot of us millennials, we're all struggling, and I'm happy that I'm not alone. I don't feel alone, but I really do hope things get better for us millennials. I'm rooting for us. As far as like, I don't dream of labor, I think it's kind of like you do you, boo situation. It just depends on what your situation is. And I see these videos of people quitting their jobs, and cool, if you can do that, go for it. But not everybody has the privilege to do so. Either they have their own apartment and they just can't quit their job because they gotta pay rent, they need a place to live. I'm fortunate because I live with my dad, right? He understands things are different than how they were back then when he was younger. And I know there are some parents out there who's like, well, back in my day when I was 20 something, I had my own place. Well, no, sorry, yeah, things are different. And I'm fortunate enough to have parents that understand how things are different now. So then when the layoffs happened, I think I was probably a month and a half when it came to being unemployed. But luckily, the people at job number 1 had my back, and they were like, hey, this position opened up within the same company, just a different department. And so I applied, got job number 2. I was doing the same thing, however, there were more responsibilities, which to me, it didn't really seem like it was that big of a deal when they said more responsibilities. But no, the job was really overwhelming. I think I was pushing myself really hard because I was like, I need this job. I need to make money because I have goals. And I think with job number 1, I actually set goals for myself. Like, I was supposed to get a place of my own by the end of this year, if not early next year. But of course, layoffs, panorama, all that stuff, right? So job number 2, I was really holding on. I was like, I just need to kind of maybe just understand the workflow more. I need to find my own pace. I need to organize it in a way that I can understand. I was trying to find different ways to help me, because even during the training process, I kind of felt like 50-50 about it, versus with job number 1 during training, I was positive, I was optimistic. I was like, hell yeah, I can do this. This is cool. I got this. But with job number 2, I was like, I had that mentality, but then it would go here, it would go back up, then it would go all the way down here, then in the middle, and then back up. Like, it was pretty intense. And eventually I started feeling the physical side of stress, the mental side of stress. And then what hurt me even more was that I wasn't able to have that balance of work and creating art like in job number 1. It wasn't the people at job number 2. I think it was just not only stress within myself, but I could see how everybody else was stressing. I think it was more so the work, because I feel like the work was more of a 2-person job. But being that things are hard, I don't think they could even afford a second person, because in job number 1, we had a second person. So it was my manager, and then it was me, and then I had my coworker. With job number 2, that's when these videos started coming up on my feed, and I was like, and then too, I think I could really feel and relate to these videos, because I was in that mentality where it's like, I'm over this job. I just can't do it anymore. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of feeling like I'm dreading coming to work. So these videos kept showing up in my feed back to back, and I would watch every single one of them. And I would say my only problem is, like, I felt like there was really no true solution as far as just like, oh, quit your 9 to 5, start a YouTube channel, become some type of entrepreneur. But it's not that easy. It's easier said than done. And I know this because I'm trying to work my way to building my art. So I mean, I've had this channel before these videos, before panorama and stuff, so I'm not even tripping. But job number 2, I was really feeling it, like, negatively. I wasn't happy anymore. And if you guys watched my first art vlog of having my first art booth and selling my art for the first time, that my outlook on my art, and being able to say to myself, like, damn, I can do this. I can really sell my art. I can really benefit off of this, and I had these ideas, like, I'm going to start opening up my Etsy shop and maybe look more into Patreon. But with job number 2, when this came along, suddenly all of that just kind of went away, and I felt like I lost my way. And like I was stuck because I didn't have that balance. I was too exhausted after work to want to do artwork. And my other hobby is video games, but you know, I'd rather profit off of art than being a gamer, you know. But I think because playing video games after work was so much easier, and two, I think like if I was tense, I would play video games to kind of release that because of the intensity. But when it comes to drawing, I just couldn't find the creativity within me to want to like put it out on paper. And I came to the decision to put in my 2 weeks, and Friday is my last day, and I most likely will be opening up commissions until I find another position that best suits me and my health. And so yeah, it was a tough decision, but I had to do what's best for me. And I think, but I don't dream of labor. That's, like I said, it's something where I feel like, well, you know, you do you have to do what's best for you. I did what's best for me. Now when it comes to the whole I don't have a dream job, for me, my dream job being 30 years young, I want to profit off my art. I want to have my art studio. I want to, you know, send out packages with my art to you guys if you guys are interested in it. I want to be able to do that. That's my dream job at this moment. And I think like even if I had job number one still, I would be able to manage both. And with job number one, I saw myself there for a long time. Job number two, yeah, it was either, to me, I felt like it was either that or my art. Also too, I've heard people kind of make that argument, which I can understand, is that, so like for example, people who are discussing this trend talk about turning their hobbies into their business, right? So in this case, like I want to do my art, but for some people, they don't want to turn their hobbies into a business. They want their hobbies to stay a hobby, which makes sense, don't get me wrong, because I have heard instances where some people, they loved their hobby, they turned it into a business, but then suddenly they were no longer in love with that. And I could see that, it makes sense. And to each their own. I think some people may have to find that out the hard way or later along the line. But if it happens, it happens. I mean, like, I feel confident enough knowing that I'm going to forever enjoy drawing. And even when I do turn this into an official business, you know. But yeah, no, I see many different sides. I see how someone who is not privileged enough to quit their job just simply just can't because they have bills to pay or they have families, you know. And even in the art world, right, like I see people say how they quit their 9-to-5 to be a full-time artist. Most of them are married and they are relying on their spouse's health insurance. They're under their spouse's health insurance, you know, to get by. And I think because that's usually like the number one question, like what do you do for your health insurance, right? Because that's important. And most of them say, well, I'm under my husband's or my spouse. So yeah, that was my take on this whole I don't dream of labor, I don't have a dream job trend. I don't believe a 9-to-5 is bad. It just depends on your work environment. Everyone experiences different things. So like for me, like I just said, job number one, great experience. Job number two, not so much. So it just depends on your circumstance. And like I said, whatever you feel is best for you, because everybody's different. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment to discuss how you're feeling, where you're at in life, or whatever. If you want to vent, go ahead and leave that comment. And feel free to subscribe if you like the artwork or if you want to just support me in some type of way. But yeah, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I shall chat with you soon. Bye.